Welcome to the Ultimate Basketball Guide. Whether you're a complete beginner or someone who is watching, so now and then, this video will take you from confused spectator to knowledgeable fan. Let's start with the fundamentals and work our way up to more advanced concepts. The objective of basketball is simple: score more points than the opposing team. Each team has 15 players, but only 5 are on the court at a time. These 5 players consist of 2 forwards, 2 guards, and 1 center. The game is played on a rectangular court with a hoop at each end. The hoop is set 10 feet high, and there's a 3-point line arcing around it. Shots made inside this arc are worth 2 points, while shots from outside are worth 3. There's also a free throw line where players can score 1 point per successful shot. In the next sections, we'll explain how these elements come together during a game, including key rules, player positions, and strategy. You'll soon understand why basketball is such an exciting and dynamic sport. Now that we've covered the basics, let's dive into how a basketball game actually unfolds. Every game starts with a tip-off. A referee tosses the ball up between 2 players at center court, and they jump to tip it to a teammate. This sets the game in motion, and the action rarely stops from there. Once a team gains possession, the shot clock, they have 24 seconds to attempt a shot. This rule keeps the game fast-paced and prevents teams from holding onto the ball indefinitely. If a team fails to shoot within this time, they lose possession to the other team. The game is divided into sections, but the exact format depends on the league. NBA games have 4 12-minute quarters. International games typically use 4 10-minute quarters. NCAA college basketball, on the other hand, plays 2 20-minute halves. These time divisions help structure the game and allow for strategic timeouts and substitutions. As players move around the court, they need to be aware of several key rules to avoid violations. One common violation is the double dribble. This happens when a player dribbles the ball with both hands at once or starts dribbling again after stopping. Another is traveling, which occurs when a player takes too many steps without dribbling. Picture a player catching a pass and then walking to the hoop without bouncing the ball. That's traveling. There's also a rule called 3 in the key. The key is the painted area near the basket. An offensive player can't stay in this area for more than 3 seconds at a time. This prevents tall players from simply standing near the hoop and scoring easy baskets. Fouls are another crucial aspect of basketball. Personal fouls involve illegal physical contact with an opponent. If you've ever seen a player get knocked down while shooting, that's likely a personal foul. The fouled player often gets free throws as compensation. Technical fouls, on the other hand, are called for unsportsmanlike conduct or violations of game etiquette. These can result from things like arguing with the referee or using inappropriate language. All these rules significantly impact how the game is played. Players must constantly balance their aggressive pursuit of the ball with careful adherence to the rules. A skilled player knows how to push the limits of what's allowed without crossing the line into foul territory. Now that we've covered the basic rules, let's explore the different player positions and strategies that make basketball such a dynamic sport. Understanding these roles will help you appreciate the intricacies of the game. Let's start with the center, typically the tallest player on the team. The center plays close to the basket, using their height advantage to score, rebound, and block shot. On offense, they look for opportunities to receive passes and take close-range shots. Defensively, they're the last line of defense, protecting the rim and grabbing rebounds. Forwards are usually the next tallest players and have a versatile role. They operate both near the basket and on the perimeter. Offensively, forwards aim to get open for passes and drive to the basket. On defense, they focus on preventing drives and securing rebounds. Guards are generally the shortest and quickest players on the team. They excel in dribbling and passing, often bringing the ball up the court and setting up plays. Defensively, guards work to disrupt the opposing team's offense by stealing passes and contesting shots. Now, let's talk about key gameplay strategies. Passing is crucial in basketball. A well-executed pass can create scoring opportunities and keep the defense off balance. Dribbling allows players to move with the ball and navigate through defenders. Setting screens is another important tactic. A screen is when an offensive player stands still to block a defender, allowing a teammate to move freely and potentially get open for a shot. For example, a guard might pass to a forward who uses a screen set by the center to get an open shot. This simple play demonstrates how different positions work together on the court. Teamwork is essential in basketball. Each position has specific responsibilities, but players must collaborate effectively to succeed. Guards might set up plays that involve forwards and centers executing screens to create scoring opportunities. The ability to anticipate your teammates' movements and make split-second decisions is what separates good teams from great ones. Let's look at some basic offensive and defensive strategies. On offense, teams often focus on moving the ball quickly and creating space for shooters. A common offensive play is the pick and roll. In this scenario, a center sets a screen for a guard, who then dribbles past the screen. The center then moves towards the basket, ready to receive a pass or create space for the guard to shoot. Defensively, teams typically use either man-to-man or zone coverage. In man-to-man defense, each player is responsible for guarding a specific opponent. Zone defense involves each player covering a specific area of the court, focusing on preventing drives and open shots. These strategies create a constant back and forth between offense and defense. As one team tries to create scoring opportunities, the other works to disrupt their plans and regain possession. Now that we've covered the basics, rules, and player positions, let's see how all these elements come together in a real game scenario. Imagine two teams, the Red Hawks and the Blue Jays, facing off in a crucial match. The game begins with the tip-off. The centers from both teams jump as the referee tosses the ball up. The Red Hawks center manages to tip the ball to their point guard, who quickly dribbles up the court. The shot clock starts ticking down from 24 seconds. The point guard passes to a forward who's moving towards the three-point line. The forward catches the ball, but is closely guarded by a Blue Jays defender. To create space, the Red Hawks' center sets a screen, allowing the forward to move past the defender and take an open three-point shot. The ball swishes through the net. That's 3 points for the Red Hawks. As the Blue Jays bring the ball up the court, we see how quickly the game can change. Their guard attempts a pass to the center near the basket, but a Red Hawks player intercepts it. This turnover shifts the momentum back to the Red Hawks, who now have another chance to score. However, in their eagerness to capitalize on the turnover, a Red Hawks player commits a traveling violation. They took too many steps without dribbling after catching a pass. The referee blows the whistle, and possession goes back to the Blue Jays. The game continues with this back-and-forth rhythm. Each possession is an opportunity for points, but it's also a chance for the defense to force a turnover or draw a foul. Speaking of fouls, let's look at how they impact the game. Midway through the second quarter, a Blue Jays player is fouled while attempting a layup. The referee calls a shooting foul, and the player gets 2 free throws. He makes both, adding 2 points to his team's score. This demonstrates how fouls can provide scoring opportunities even when a shot doesn't go in. As the game progresses, we see the teams adjusting their strategies. The Red Hawks, who are leading by 8 points at halftime, switch to a more defensive approach in the third quarter. They focus on protecting their lead by slowing down the pace and using more of the shot clock on each possession. The Blue Jays, on the other hand, increase their offensive pressure. They start using a full court press, trying to force turnovers and create fast break opportunities to close the gap. This strategic shift shows how teams adapt their gameplay based on the score and time remaining. In the final minutes of the fourth quarter, the game is tied. Both teams are now in the bonus, meaning any foul results in free throws. This adds tension to every defensive play, as players must be extra careful to avoid fouling. With just seconds left, the Red Hawks guard drives to the basket and is fouled. He makes one of 2 free throws, putting his team up by 1 point. The Blue Jays have one last chance, but their final shot misses as the buzzer sounds. The Red Hawks win by a single point. But what if the game had been tied at the end of regulation time? In that case, we would go to overtime. Most leagues play a 5-minute overtime period, and if the score is still tied, they continue playing additional overtimes until a winner is determined. We've covered a lot in this video, from the basic rules of basketball to player positions and key strategies. To really grasp these concepts, try watching a professional game. As you watch, see if you can spot the different positions on the court and identify some of the strategies we've discussed. Pay attention to how teams adapt their gameplay as the score changes. Thank you for watching, and share the video with your new basketball friends.